Okay, so today we're going to be discussing our IT Autopilot. You guys are going to get to see it in action. So let's just dive in on today's agenda. We're going to do first an introduction. We're going to talk a little bit more about the IT Autopilot and what makes it unique. And then Brad is going to take us through a demo so you guys can see exactly how it works. So before we get started, I think some introductions are in place. We have today Brad with us. He's an account executive here at Atera. And my name is Abby. I'm part of the customer experience team. I'm going to be your co-host along with Brad today. Just some quick housekeeping before we dive in. If you guys are unable to join or you have to jump off halfway, you guys will be getting a recording of this session after the webinar via email. We invite you to type any questions that you might have in the Q&A window. So you'll see that you guys have a chat and the Q&A. Please write the questions in the Q&A, not the chat, so that I can make sure that I get the chance to answer all of you and don't get to miss anything. And then at the end of the webinar, stick around. We have an opportunity for you guys to win $25. I'll get more into that after Brad's finished with his demo. So we did one poll, so I still want to do the second poll. So I'm just going to go ahead and open that. And this poll, we really want to know if you guys are currently using your AI in day-to-day. So I'll give you guys some time before. Let's see, we have sometimes and not yet. And some of you are saying, yes, can't live without it. Any AI, Greg. We're just curious to know if you guys are utilizing AI in your day-to-day task.
And then the guys who said no, why not? If you want to let us know. I'm just curious. And just an introduction to myself, guys. I'm Brad. I'm part of the sales team here at Atera. Hit me up at LinkedIn if you want maybe call it private demo after this. Been with the company for about 3 years, know the ins and outs. But really today we're going to focus on the autopilot side of things.
Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. Amazing. Okay, so back to my screen. So we're going to be talking about, why and what is autonomous IT. So today we're going to learn a little bit more about exactly what autonomous IT is and how Atera is actually leading in this space. So why autonomous IT? So as you guys can see on my screen here, we have some different stats that we've collected through different types of research that's been done out on the field. And really what it boils down to on the right-hand side here, you guys can see that annual IT downtime actually costs IT departments a lot of money. And well, not just the IT departments, but companies. So whether it's due to different types of shortages on the IT side, so it can be, for talent or for different research reasons. Sometimes you guys might have a lot of different systems that you guys use day in and day out, and people sometimes get confused, and it leads to an increase in tickets. A little bit more about our autonomous IT. So we have our AI Copilot and our IT Autopilot. So on the left, basically, Atera has tackled this space with not just one, but two different tools in the AI space. On the left-hand side, like I just mentioned, we have our AI Copilot, which is basically really built for technicians. This is to give you guys, specifically technicians, the different types of tools within the Atera in order to be able to increase efficiency during your day-to-day. We actually do have a Copilot webinar available to you guys, which we can also send you the recording if you'd like to see that as well. And then today we're actually going to be focusing on the IT Autopilot. So on the right-hand side, for those of you who have used the AI Autopilot, we've basically built this solution for end users to be able to resolve some of IT tasks. So that can be, tier 1 or even some tier 2 and tier 3 types of tickets, all while taking the load off of you guys. So as here, we can also talk about, so we can see the value that it brings for end users. So basically, from an end user's perspective, they're not going to have to wait for IT support to get back to them, and they're going to be able to use the IT Autopilot to fix and answer and get issues to their issues on their own time. For you guys as the IT team, you're going to be able to stop wasting time on, soul crushing repetitive tasks, probably common tickets on like, what's the Wi-Fi password, or I'm locked out of my account again. And you're going to be able to focus on projects that matter and do things at a higher level and not have to worry about those small tasks anymore. And for the organization, it's going to be able to cut the cost without cutting the quality, okay? And you guys are going to be able to scale your IT support without actually needing to hire more, and be able to increase satisfaction and the organization overall. So basically, what makes our IT Autopilot unique is the fact that it is the only actual AI agent specifically crafted for autonomous IT. And the uniqueness about it is because it's paired with Atera's RMM agent, it's actually able to perform not just things like surface knowledge-based articles, but it's also able to go ahead and perform what's called device actions. Okay, and we're going to be able to see that once Brad goes into the demo more. And basically, by leveraging those capabilities, we're going to be able to see how your teams will be able to work in a more efficient manner. Yeah. And then here we're just trying to show you guys that, with the IT Autopilot, you'll be able to cut up to 80% of your tier 1 tickets, which is going to be able to solve 100% of your IT headaches. So with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing. I know Brad wants to share a few slides before he goes into the demo. So Brad, I'm giving you the floor.
Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
The slideshow, right?
No, you need to hit slideshow. Now, yes. No.
Cool. So this might be a little bit of a repetition, but I just want to put it in my own words. And essentially what Atera has developed is a 24/7 AI technician, essentially sitting in the back pockets of all your customers, your employees, available for them. But it doesn't just respond. So we've seen a lot of, call it AI ticketing solutions out there that can go out and say, right, from this KB article, this is sort of the answer. Yes, our AI Autopilot can do it, but it doesn't just pull that information. It just doesn't go to the web and get information, and also doesn't give, say, rudimentary steps for your end users to go and follow. It actually leverages an agent that's deployed out to your endpoints out there. The agent, a light piece of software or lightweight piece of software that's out on the device and can run things autonomously as system with system rights, essentially. So it doesn't just respond, it can actually resolve from end to end about 80% of those tier 1 tickets and assist in a further 30%. And I'll show some kind of examples today. It's context aware and company smart, meaning like think about an internal IT member starts on day 1. You've got to give them context related to your customers, to the employees, to the company. So we've given you the ability within Atera to actually train the AI so it understands your context, your lingo that's only related to your company. And it's anywhere and everywhere, so it's an omni-channel experience. It can sit on top of maybe another, call it end user portal from another ticketing solution that we can build out that call it integration. It can be in Teams, Slack, and obviously email. So it's everywhere for those members essentially. And it's always improving. It's looking at the way you guys solve tickets in your day-to-day, looking at you, call it remoting in, how you do it, building out scripts, etc. So it's always going to be learning proactively and being able to being mold into that technician that you really want. Ooh. A couple of the actions, it's about 1,000 actions that it's trained to do, plus 10,000s more using cloud actions, using API calls, webhook, Zapier, even MCP, which we've just released today, Model Context Protocol. So I think there was from help desk on the chat earlier, resetting a printer spooler. We've got resetting passwords, installing certain applications you give it access to, the typical types of tasks that you didn't get into IT to. So it's essentially making your tier 1 into a tier 2. Great, let's go over some, call it examples. So Abby, you're now seeing my end user portal.
Yes.
Excellent. So this is the Atera end user portal. And as I mentioned, it's omni-channel. So it can be on email. Maybe you're using ServiceNow end user portal. It can sit on top of that. So it's really being able to be everywhere, as I mentioned earlier. So a couple of examples we can go over where the autopilot is essentially solving from end to end. I am trying to open this video file and I can't make it simple. So a couple of things is going to happen here. First, it's going to create the ticket in whatever, call it, ticketing system you're using, whether that's Atera or another external one. It's then going to, call it, run diagnostics on the device. And it's also going to potentially help the end user, call it, get more information for the context, I can call it. It's really doing the groundwork for the technicians. End users, maybe this is a stupid example, but end users submit a ticket and they say, my Bluetooth headset is not turning on. Well, then you're going to respond, well, have you made sure that it's plugged in? Does it have battery? That sort of thing. As I mentioned, it's a stupid example, but it does a lot of it gets meat on the bone for you guys. So what exactly is happening? It's asking. So more context. It's when I open a .avi file. So now what's going to happen is that it should leverage the agent, look at the software that's already installed on that device. And it can say, right, I can see that I've been given the permissions. I've got a, call it, a la carte menu of applications that I'm allowed to install from one of our repositories out there. And can say, right, I can see you probably don't have VLC Media Player. Can I go ahead and install it for you without a technician getting involved? And really giving zero-time SLA to your employees and to the end users. From end to end, installing that. Can I go? There you go. Do you want me to go and do it? I say, yes, it can. You can also attach files. So maybe a Windows error popped up, a Zoom error, for example. I can also use OCR technology to analyze that picture, run diagnostics via the agent on the device, and help them solve it autonomously. I'm sure I forgot my password. It will go probably ask me which password exactly because I haven't given it context. End users never really give you anything. What password? And I can say Microsoft 365. And by the way, we support Okta, Google, Entra, even if they're on-prem AD. So what it's going to do now is going to actually look at the user signed in, going to look at their mobile number associated with the user, and will send them a temporary 2FA password to their mobile device so they can get in, really giving them business continuity. This is a CEO, somebody who doesn't want to wait for a technician to reset a password, or they're working on the weekend. Why do you need to go and stop, not be with the family, really just giving them a AI autonomous technician available? I can reset your Microsoft 365 password, do it. I say yes, it will go ahead and do that. New chat. Let's go over my device is running slowly. I'm sure that, yeah. Great, so I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this ticket also. Again, it's always going to create that ticket. It's going to look at certain actions. I always ask actions a physical or human technician would also take if they got something like that. So it might come back, ask me for more context, but I'm going to actually show you here, and you can see live, or the end user can also see if they maximized the actions of what it's going to be doing. So it's checking 5 running processes, disk space availability, Windows startup apps completed successfully. It's really doing all of this via the agent. I found this space looks healthy. Most startup apps are normal, but Windows Defender is using. So it can say, right, do you want me to go and put your device in high performance mode to give you extra speed? I can say yes, or I can give it even more context saying it's when I use Google Chrome. So you probably should see that it can go and even clear the cache and cookies, specifically on Chrome. Give it a couple of seconds. Any questions coming in, Abby?
Yes, actually, I was just answering one. So maybe we can say we have one. Someone asked you, and you would need to identify manager integration solution first, or in theory, could you directly integrate between Atera and AD, Google, or 365, and so forth?
Directly. I'll show you shortly also. And I'm assuming that's for your AD. I want to speak to a human. So I just want to illustrate, this could go on for days, but I just want to show you and illustrate how it's also assisting in a further 30% of those tickets. So I want to speak to a human. End user can always say that, and it will escalate the ticket to a human. Now we're going to go into the Atera core. Here, 8276. 8276, there's that ticket. So you come in, you can automate where that ticket needs to go to a certain technician if you want, but you're rarely picking it up. 8276, sorry, one of our technicians will take it from here. Here we go, great. But you're rarely picking it up now from the 50-yard line, because now a technician comes into a ticket. They're going to see what the reason for the escalation was, the work that was done, diagnostics that were already performed and actions performed, and then recommended next steps for the technician to take so that he can troubleshoot this going forward. So really, he doesn't have to start from the beginning. Now, going into, call it the AI center over here. Here you can see Slack and Teams, just plug in and play integration if you want to create a team, or sorry, a channel for your end users. We've got here custom instructions where I mentioned you giving it context. So software. What certain softwares are used between your employees or your customers in their day-to-day, and give it definition so it doesn't hallucinate. Definitions. I like to give an example in that in our room, or there's an office, and we have named it Missy Elliott. The AI, you give it the definition that it's a room on the 7th floor, office on the 7th floor, and it's not going to think it's an R&B rapper, for example. Actionable insights. Now, I mentioned it's always learning by the way you guys do things in your day-to-day, even via Atera, and how you solve tickets. So it can say, right, accessing the office guest Wi-Fi network based on 9 tickets that you have solved in your day-to-day, and maybe it's assisted in with the AP. Review an article. Builds out the KB article in a couple of seconds using AI, standardizes the formats. So now you can ingest this into the autopilot so it can reference this KB article. So when another, call it similar ticket comes up in the future, it will know what to reference and just answer. I can give you an example here. What is the Wi-Fi password? So now you'll see it will just retrieve that answer from a KB article, and just so easy also to set up. It's another area where the AI Autopilot differs compared to a lot of other AI solutions out there. It's just really easy also to set up. I'll show you cloud actions, API calls, etc. You can go and we help you and we assist you with our professional services team to get you up and running. So there you can see it's retrieved that answer. So you're building our KB articles also. Let's go into scripts. So when you remote in to a device via Atera, using one of our third-party applications, Splashtop, which comes included in Atera, the AI is also providing a summary. So it will provide you, and maybe I could just quickly show you over here. If we go to a device, let's go to that one. here, activity log, generate summary. The AI is actually saying, right, during that session the technician did, these are all the actions that he took during that time. Summarizing it, we've actually, I think, patented this, summarizing it, and the AI is learning from those sessions, saying, right, I've seen you remote in, you perform certain actions, review a script. The script will then be compiled with AI. And by the way, this is a closed environment. So we're not learning from any of our customers' data and training the AI. We've actually signed a DPA with Microsoft because it's powered by Microsoft and Azure Open API. So here provides the script with comments. You can even test it on a device, modify it if you want over here, and enable any script for the autopilot. Maybe you're needing to install Hungarian as a language pack, for example. And you're needing to do that day in and day out all the time because end users don't have system rights. Just go create the script and enable that for the autopilot to leverage for a similar ticket going forward. Let's go back to AI Center.
Brett, now that you were just on, we actually have a question. I see that you can show it within the console. So somebody asked, what does the actual ticket data look like on the actual ticket? So when someone opens a ticket via the customer portal, what does it look like for the technician?
Sure. So
And to answer Terry, you asked a few questions. Yes, the customer will be given a ticket number for the reference, and an email as well, and the AI itself, if the ticket is resolved, correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, if the ticket is resolved by the AI, then the ticket can close the ticket itself.
Of course. So here's an example. Sorry, I don't know who I'm addressing here. So I asked for the Wi-Fi password. It retrieved the answer for me. Thank you. That is all. For example, we'll see over here. And by the way, here's my ticket number. You're welcome. If there's anything else, please ping me. And then it should have, if I go to tickets, here's that Wi-Fi password. Hold on, let's say can close. So there should be an automation rule that if it really thinks it doesn't need to close, it will close it after, say, X amount of time. Great. I can escalate it to my team. I can't directly close or change the ticket from here, but that already opened ticket for the chat. Great. But it should actually go and close out. Sorry. The demo environment always, so there's automations that's probably been set up, but it will definitely close the ticket for you. Here you can already see the sign technician is Tony, which you can also name. You can name it Michael, Tony, AI, whatever you choose. We got an MSP. They got 3 Michaels. Obviously, they called their AI technician Michael. And you ask to see what the ticket looks like. Here you go. Here you can see the thread on the ticket within Atera. You can write as a human technician to the end user. Internal note if you don't want them to see any information, also that will show in yellow. And on the ticket itself, you can see who the user is, their device, and remote into the device. But we're going off track here. And going back into the AI Center, right? So you're leveraging KB articles to resolve tickets. You're leveraging scripts. Playbooks we've just introduced at the moment. And essentially you are, call it, giving it steps that it needs to take. And you're defining it also with AI. So missed onboarding deadline. Let's give a nice one. New distribution group list request. So an end user probably asks to be put on a distribution list. You're just defining in plain human language what the trigger is, and then steps that the AI technician or the autopilot needs to take. So step 1, ask the request to confirm the email address. Step 2, ask the request. So essentially, you're just telling it what you need to do in certain, call it, ticket examples that come up. AI Center. MCP integration, so Model Context Protocol, which is MCP lets large language models connect within other services apps, so other service apps, so that you can allow the LLMs to take action, essentially. So built that out over here. Integrations here. I think there was that question earlier. Google Workspace, click and go, Enter ID, Okta. And I would say probably last but not least is cloud actions. So being able to run actions that are not Atera native. So rather that are part of other software API capabilities. So you want to create an item on Monday board if a certain ticket comes in, enable that for the autopilot. This is really with the MCP, cloud actions, integrations, you actually are creating an extension of your team. You're being able to, so it's not just limited to the 1,000 actions that we've given it permission to do as system, that you can grow that to, I mentioned at the beginning of this call, to about 10,000 or even more. Whatever you want to do, you can mold this AI technician to be what you want it to be, essentially. And really, I would say the value of it is that it's not just efficiency. It's not just using, like I use sales and helping me with email. AI is helping me with email every day. That's help. This is actually performing the action. So you're creating that technician. That's really the beauty of the AI Autopilot.
Mm-hmm. Brad, we have a good question here.
Sure.
So it says here, how is the information, such as Wi-Fi and passwords, classified for different users or designations? We do not want all users to have access to all the information. Access should depend on their designation. So if a user requests information outside of their authorized scope on a need-to-know basis, how will the system handle it?
Good question. So knowledge base, your KB articles can be defined by certain customers or employee sites, not just available for everyone. That's first thing. Using AI Center playbooks. I would say custom instructions. You're saying certain softwares over here are only enabled for certain sites or certain customers, and also definitions. So in plain human language, you're just defining who has got rights to what information at the end of the day. Abby, anything else?
Yeah, I was just reading one. How well does the AI classify a ticket? Does it use its own categories, or will it use the custom fields you made? Does it help when it comes to reporting for those who like to see what types of incidents are happening?
Sure, great question. So the AI is also auto-tagging the typical types of tickets you're getting. This is what you're seeing now is a BI report. We've got an integration with like Looker, not Looker, it is Looker. It's a BI tool built in. This is a canned report, ticketing summary within Atera. Here you can track metrics, your average duration, etc. And you've got your auto tags over here. So you can see the typical types of tickets you might be getting from a certain customer or site. You can also check, I haven't seen here, but let's see an overview. Last 30 days. So you're also tracking the metrics of the autopilot essentially. Here you can see the last 30 days, hours saved, actionable insights if you want to get to that, tickets solved over time. And I think there should be another report over here, if I'm not mistaken, autopilot reporting via the BI tool. As you can see. Anything else, Abby?
Yes, sorry, I was just typing, but we can talk about it out loud. So can you set it to where a system follows your password policy in Active Directory in Microsoft 365 for HIPAA policies?
Would have to get a little bit more information on what sort of policies you are referring to over there. But really, and what I am suggesting and what I think over here is that you can just use playbooks. So you're actually defining what the policies are using the playbooks and just in language, plain human language. Go and do that. We are HIPAA compliant. You can check out Atera.com, go down to the bottom, and you'll be able to see on our trust page. While that's loading, Abby, anything else?
I've already answered everything else, unless somebody has a different question that I've missed. Feel free to let me know in the Q&A, but I see everything here as answered.
Am I back on the webcam?
Yes, it's showing like you as black right now. We don't see you all yet. Maybe it's loading. Now we just see your picture, and now you're
There
back.
you go.
Okay, cool. Amazing. Okay, so that was our autopilot demo. Let me just check if we have anything left in the Q&A. If you guys have any other questions. Cool. So before you guys go, I do want to say, so we have, for those of you that are Atera customers, we're currently running a survey right now in G2. So if you go ahead and scan the barcode and give us a review on G2, we will send you guys afterwards a $25 Amazon gift card. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this up so that you guys can go ahead and fill it out. And in the meantime, yes, Terry, you're going to be getting a recording of this via email to be able to rewatch the webinar.
Do you know what else I would also recommend? Maybe I'm doing something naughty here, but here are some examples. Go over here. I put a link. Maybe I can just add it over here. Chat. How do I go back to the chat? I'm answering. Here we go. Here are some use cases that I went through, some other features within Atera. If you want to check from our academy, go to that, and you can really see a lot of different, call it, features, applications for the solution, etc.
We have another question, actually. It says, can we use a voice agent for the contact with the client rather than getting them to write on the portal?
Great question. So I know that, who is it? Hold on 2 seconds. I want to give you this answer. Here we go. So we know that the best way probably to do this would be with Ring Central. They have a solution which you could integrate into. Otherwise, it would take tokens and voice tokens, and another solution like Twilio. It is something I'm also working with a customer on at the moment with our CTO.
Cool. Do we have any other questions? And if you guys would like to, get an in-depth demo, you can just send us a message right here on the chat saying, yes, I would like a demo, and I will take care of setting it up for you guys. So if that's the case, feel free and just let us know in the chat that you'd like to learn more, and I'll reach out to you guys to set something up.
No, Greg, you can also request the demo, no problem.
Yeah, or if anybody who writes it in the chat, I will just reach out to you directly, and I'll set something up for you guys.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Abby.
Can you get a link to the survey as well? I believe it's just since it's a barcode, I can send you a screenshot via email. That's what I'm thinking that we could do. Amazing. So Terry, Greg, I'll go ahead and I'll reach out to you guys for a demo. Christopher, you also. Let me see. And we have a few other people who requested a demo, so we'll be in touch with you guys shortly to coordinate everything and discuss further. I'm just going to leave this open for a little bit longer so you guys have a chance to wrap up the survey. And yeah, thank you so much for joining, guys.
Bye, Abby. Thank you very much.
Before, and planning on returns, so do I still need a demo?
You don't really need a demo, but Charles, if you want to return to, using Autopilot, it might be worth having a conversation just to get a better understanding of the new features that we've launched with it since to discuss. So if you want, we could reach out to you also to discuss that.